If you're having anything other than absolutely wonderful experiences consistently in bed, and for that matter, unless your communication is always super attuned and dialed in, I encourage you to think, if you were looking to have a response from AI, what information would you give so it would go well? You do need to convey what's working for you and also what isn't working for you. It is just plain rude and inconsiderate to leave it to your partner to figure it out all on their own. Your husband is just like AI. Your wife is just like AI. And let me tell you how. First of all, I was listening to my dear friend's podcast, Dr. Latoya Lucis Sampson. The name of her podcast is Stethoscopes and Strollers. She did a whole podcast on how AI can make your life simpler. And just in a passing remark, she said, AI is just like your husband. And I'm going to tell you how your husband is just like AI and your wife is just like AI too. Now, if you have any experience using ChatGPT or any other platform that you like with an AI function, you know that if you just go to AI and say, what should I make for dinner tonight? Or you say, what should I pack when I travel to Turks and Caicos? Or what's a good novel to read? With any of those questions, you will definitely get a response. But if you want a good response, one that is actually useful, when you ask, what should I cook for dinner tonight? You want to say what your preferences are. Are you vegetarian? Do you like nuts? Which kinds of vegetables are in the refrigerator? And what do you have in your pantry? In other words, the more information that you give it that's relevant, the more useful the response will be. And it will bring you delight and make your evening simpler because you know exactly what you're going to cook, you know what recipe you're going to use, you know it's going to be delicious and accomplish all of the goals that you have. Similarly, if you ask what should you pack on your next trip, you've got to say what time of year you're going, how long you're going to be there. Are you going for a conference or are you going for vacation? If you're going for vacation, or leisure activity is going to be hiking, snorkeling. You need to give enough information so that AI can have a winning response for you and it can make your life simpler. Because if it just gives you a response without you giving the information that's required, well, maybe it'll be good, but likelihood is that it will be heavily diluted in its relevance and maybe even wrong because you didn't set yourself up for a win by giving the accurate information. Obviously, the same thing applies if you want to know what book to read. What books have you read? What genres do you like? Does it matter if it's long or short? You know, all the things. Similarly, if you want something from your husband, do not expect your husband to know all of the details. Do not expect your husband to be a mind reader. Do not expect your husband to know what you really love unless you've actually said so. This comes up in so many different areas. It certainly comes up with gift giving, where it really can be complicated because as a polite recipient, you should be grateful. But if it's not what you want, then it's kind of defeated the purpose of the gift being given in the first place. So this comes up in all kinds of arenas. And the place that I actually want to focus on right now is when it comes to sex. Your body is a different body than your spouse has. So you can do your routines, you can even both have orgasms. And that does not mean that your partner knows what feels good to you. It does not mean that your partner is going to touch you in the optimal manner in terms of pace and pressure and location. Your partner might, I don't know, purchase a sex toy, but it's one that you have no interest in using, or maybe put on some music. There's so many ways that this can play out that a well-meaning partner who actually wants to give you a great experience misses the mark because he or she just doesn't know what you want. You can, of course, experiment, I don't know, do a lap dance and see if he likes it. And I know that may sound like a thing, like, of course, every man's going to like a lap dance. That's actually not true. Gently caress her neck. Maybe she likes it, maybe she doesn't. Now, you don't actually need to discuss every single thing verbally, like, how about if I touch you here? And what if I touch you here? Do you like it this way? Do you like it that way? That can become crazy making because you go in your head and you get really intellectual about it. So I am definitely not recommending that. But what I am wanting to convey is that if you're having anything other than absolutely wonderful experiences consistently in bed, and for that matter, unless your communication is always super attuned and dialed in, I encourage you to think, if you were looking to have a response from AI, what information would you give so it would go well? Your partner only knows your body if you convey what you enjoy, either explicitly and verbally or through posture and moans and smiles. You do need to convey what's working for you and also what isn't working for you. It is just plain rude and inconsiderate to leave it to your partner to figure it out all on their own. Now, if you're a partner who wishes that your spouse would give you some feedback, some guidance, some expression of what he or she most enjoys, well, you can go ahead and ask for it. You can go ahead and say, I'd love to become the best lover for you. Is there any adjustment you have or anything you desire? Maybe a different way of saying that is just simply, I want to learn your body better. What do I still need to know? And I'm encouraging you to have these conversations because you wouldn't just count on your partner to mind read about who's doing the daycare pickup unless that has been well established and you've discussed it and set up a system, so you don't need to continue to have a conversation about it. Otherwise, you need to text and clarify so that it happens. There are so many decisions like that where you know the communication is necessary. And the purpose of this podcast is to invite you to bring that same attitude when it comes to communication about anything important in your relationship. This applies to finances, to affection, to communication, to parenting, and it certainly applies to how you touch one another in bed. So the next time that you kind of tighten a little bit, clamp down, feel turned off, wish your partner touched you differently, I want you to remember that if you're sitting at your computer interacting with AI, it's super straightforward to give the information that allows the response to be really helpful for you. And similarly, with kindness and generosity and without criticism, if you convey what would feel good to you or what you'd like to do together and discover if it would feel good to you, if you would like any kind of change in how you are with one another in the bedroom, by all means, remember in this regard that your partner is just like AI and you need to give them what they need to create the win-win situation. So there's success for both of you and more erotic connection, and the way is paved with harmonious, erotic, collaborative, nourishing, fulfilling experiences together.